Hi, Christian here. Welcome back to my channel. Tonight I'm making a cold weather favorite, beef short ribs served over mashed potatoes. Let's get started, shall we? But first, we're going to take a sip of that red wine. Tonight's recipe, you're going to need some celery, carrot, fresh garlic, 2 bay leaves, olive oil, beef broth, tomato paste, a whole onion, fresh thyme, salt and pepper for seasoning, obviously the short ribs. You're also going to need a Dutch oven for cooking, and then you'll need an oven for baking. First thing you want to do is prepare the vegetables. Now that the vegetables are chopped up, you're going to get the oven up to 325. You're also going to bring up your Dutch oven to medium high. First, you want to put your oil in. A good 2 tablespoons. What we're doing first is marking the meat. About a minute on each side. Now that the minute's done, you're just going to rotate it. Just get each side. Do that for another minute, and then we'll move it again. Rinse and repeat. Once it's done being brown, you want to move the meat from the Dutch oven for the time being. And just set it aside. Now that the meat is seared, you're going to take a sip of that red wine. Next, you want to saute the vegetables. Let's do this, shall we? Pop it in. We need coconut. Yes, sir. Let that cook for about 3 minutes. We're now going to add the garlic, some salt, some pepper, let it stir. I'm going to take some tomato paste, about 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. Give that another stir so it coats nice and evenly. Nice even tomato. All the vegetables. You're then going to add your beef broth. About 2 cups should do. Bring this to a boil. We'll get started on the next steps. While that's boiling, I think it's a great time to take a sip of that wine. One of the things I like about this dish is that you can actually add an additional ingredient for some more pop in the flavor. The ingredient I'm adding in is some of that red wine. Again, it's optional for those of you who want. I'll show you how it's done. First thing you want to do is take that cup of wine and pour some of it in. About a cup should do. Then after you've done that, you take a sip of it. Bring that back up to a boil, and then we should be ready to add the short ribs back into the pot. Here we go. Add your thyme in. Now that the short ribs are in the oven, you're going to take another sip of that red wine. You're then going to let it cook for 2 hours before you check on it. At that time, you want to start prepping your mashed potatoes. In the meantime, enjoy a couple glasses of wine, and we'll be back in a moment. Now that the 2-hour timer went off, we're going to start preparing the potatoes. And while we're preparing the potatoes, we're going to let the short ribs cook for another 30 minutes. Let's do this, shall we? But first, we're going to take another sip of that red wine.
Now that that's done, you're going to let it boil for 20 minutes. In the meantime, you're going to take another sip of that red wine.
Now that the potatoes are done, we'll turn off the heat. Turn out the water. Additionally, I'm going to add in some garlic infused butter. Some pepper. Salt. About a half a cup of half and half. I'm gonna mash it. And that's that. Now that everything is almost done, you're going to take out the beef short ribs out of the oven. You're going to set aside the short ribs that are cooked, puree the vegetables and sauce, and then serve it over the mashed potatoes. Folks, I hope you enjoyed my recipe tonight. Be sure to like and subscribe somewhere down here. And of course, don't forget to take a sip of that wine.